Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
It's time to wake up
and shine on.
Greetings. Welcome to the Bring Me to Life podcast. I am Selomon.
I'm Shannon and
And we are glad that you tuned in now for the first time, or if you tuned back in.
Yeah, we're really excited about the season, the new website, all of this awesome new content, connecting with all of you in a bigger, different way. This is awesome.
Oh, yes. I need to learn that summer is just a time to take a break and go on vacation or be part of events, because so many people like to do events in the summertime. But then fall comes around and then it's almost every year when fall comes around. This time last year, we started doing more shows.
Yeah, we harvest our experiences through the year, and we kind of get to reflect on how far we've grown, I think.
And it's part of this community building is traveling and meeting people or deepening connections with people that we know.
For sure. It's important to be able to go out and plant those seeds and then come back and really just kind of look at what it is we want to harvest before the end of the year, and also make sure that you're like still reaching out to people as you begin to hibernate too.
Yeah, we got technology now that helps out a lot with that.
Yeah, it's been cool, like, reflecting and seeing who really showed up, who's changed, and it's been pretty cool life experiences.
I love fall. It's my favorite season because I don't know, just the feeling of it. My birthday happens, Scorpio season. We'll get to watch Harry Potter,
That was our last episode, all about Harry Potter.
Exactly. And I get to wear my favorite sweaters, my favorite pants.
Fall is just like a really nostalgic time for me. I feel like
beautiful rainbow of colors.
Yeah, it's like a really just beautiful thing to see the leaves shedding off the trees, and just everyone starts coming together in a different way. Like we talked about summer, how it's like nonstop events, but like in the fall when people come together, they start like showing extra gratitude. Even like Halloween is like about giving, and like a lot of people are about honoring the spirits
and just having fun. Halloween is cool.
Halloween is pretty neat. I've always enjoyed it. I like that there's this church that I grew up in, and we celebrated Halloween, and we weren't allowed to have dark costumes, but we got to dress up still, so that was pretty cool, because some places don't let you dress up now. And at school, we always got to dress up, and just like that was when we got to be our most unique selves.
One time I wore a stormtrooper costume
for Halloween.
For Halloween to high school.
That's cute.
I think I had money somehow, and I bought it. So I wish I could make stuff like that. I'm not very good at that.
That was in high school? So can I tell you a story about high school?
Yeah.
I was in this program that was like, we got to stay after school and hang out with people. And like my home was great, but like no kids were around me or nobody my age. So I'd love staying after school and going to these programs and different things. And they took us on a field trip to the Andy Warhol Museum. And probably the same time you were being a stormtrooper at the Andy Warhol Museum, there was this big gallery, and there were hundreds and hundreds of stormtrooper the heads, like the masks. Wow. And everybody, it was like all these hundreds of different communities got to decorate a stormtrooper mask, and it was like just a big gallery display of them. That was like my introduction to Star Wars, really.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really like Star Wars a lot, but that was pretty sweet.
I was bigger into Star Wars than I was Star Trek until I met Captain Picard.
Oh, Captain Picard.
And it was awesome. You know, I wish it could be better. It's now that Disney has taken it, it's almost more geared toward a younger crowd. Star Trek is so
You're saying Star
life-changing.
Trek is more towards a younger crowd?
No, I was saying Star Wars.
Star
now that
Wars.
Disney owns, it's almost more
Oh, yeah.
to kids. You know,
Yeah, they popped that out. It's a different world now
and
than it was in like early 90s, I feel like.
yeah, and they're coming out with all these Star Wars Origins, and it's all PG or PG-13, which is totally fine. But I don't know if any Star Trek ones are. They're probably mostly that same. But with Captain Picard, he's so mature. He's got all this great wisdom to share.
Mm-hmm. Captain Picard, he does have a lot of wisdom to share.
It just seems like more sophisticated. It's not as geared toward all the action like Star Wars is. It's geared a lot toward character development, toward exploring discovery.
Yeah, I love New Earth. One of my favorite characters on Star Trek is Data, and just how he just wants so much to understand humans, and humans just so much want to understand him, and he's just like a beautiful example
Great
of what
character.
AI could be without it being the scary AI that people are afraid of right now.
So Seth MacFarlane was talking about when he was beginning to create the idea for the Orville, which is a sci-fi show.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how since the Next Generation and that kind of, and Star Trek, those series around then, ever since they went off air, there's been this void of like a happy future where he says where a place where we got our shit together and we were able to build these great things and go explore rather than destroy Earth and each other.
That's because we stopped most public space exploration. Like, now all the space exploring is being done by these private companies, and it's not like a community fun event anymore. Like, I remember watching rockets go into the air as a kid, and that was like a big deal. Why isn't that a big deal anymore, guys? Like, if it is, why am I not seeing it more? Facebook's a thing. Like, I want to see more of that.
On YouTube, they had a live stream of Elon Musk giving a presentation on one of his rockets that is self-landing. It's a rocket that will go up into space and then come back and land itself on the platform.
That's pretty sweet. Like, I guess I'm just like wondering why we're not celebrating these things as a mass human celebration.
Do you see that really on the mainstream news?
Not like I used to. Maybe it was just because I was in a household that watched the news all the time, and now
they're all, I'm sure, focused on the presidential.
Probably
crap.
True. It's sad because I remember sitting in my grandma's house and like, do you remember the Apollo missions and things like that? Like watching them go up.
The Apollo missions were huge, and it's just they don't share it anymore. It's all about somebody died or Trump said this, and now all the leftists are upset, or I don't even know, really. It's hard for me to follow politics. I enjoy a lot of stuff in this life, and I can get down with a lot of stuff, but that's just a whole ball game that, I'm not quite used to. I like to vote when I can, and I try to watch some stuff. I actually went to a Ron Paul rally when Ron Paul was running for president, and that was a trip in itself. Seeing Ron Paul in person. Can I tell a story about it?
It's your podcast.
So, I think it was 2012, and Ron Paul was running for president, and he was almost like the Bernie Sanders of that day, where he was talking about ending government control over everything,
Mhm.
ending the Federal Reserve.
When was this? Do you know?
I just said that. I think it might have been 2012.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So, I started getting really into it.
Mhm.
In 2012, things are manifesting quickly.
Definitely. 2012 was like a crazy year of manifestation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like that's right around when The Secret became big and stuff like that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my timelines could be messed up, but I'm feeling like that was a good time.
2012 was the lost season.
The lost season.
And this experience with Ron Paul was the summer before that went down.
Mm.
And so Ron Paul ends up doing a speech, a rally, like an hour or somewhere within an hour from where I live. And I joined like a Ron Paul discussion Facebook group, and someone was posting about if anybody wanted to go, they had room. And so I went with them, and we got there pretty early. We were literally the first ones there. And so we stood in the front as we just watched this huge line end up forming. And then somebody opens the door, and I was like, hey, we need a few guys to help. Can you help? And then we were like, oh, fucking, yeah, definitely. So we got in early. We start moving things around and helping get it ready. And we get it all ready, and then people come in, and it's packed. This place is packed, and Ron Paul comes in, and everybody's cheering so loudly, and he's just giving his speech, and then everybody's cheering, and he was like, and we gotta get rid of those guys over at the Federal Reserve. And everybody cheered the loudest the whole day, and they started to chant, and the Fed, and the Fed. And I got it on video, and I was like, holy moly, this is crazy. This is super crazy. I can't believe I'm experiencing this. And they said we were going to meet Ron Paul after. It's like, you come in, we'll like get you hooked up. You can shake Ron Paul's hand, get your picture taken with him.
Oh, just because you helped?
Yeah. So we wait there for after everybody leaves, basically. We get taken back into the back room. I think I see Ron Paul in one of the rooms talking to maybe his son or something. I'm not even sure. Somebody. And he takes us into a different room. And he's like, okay, you guys wait here. We're going to go get him. And then he left. And we're like, oh, man, this is so cool. And he came back with, it was the governor of Michigan or something. Or somebody running for the governor of Michigan. Which is actually, seemed like a pretty kind of progressive dude. But that was pretty cool. But I was a little upset that they said we could meet around.
What? You never actually got to meet him?
We never got to meet him because he left.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Life's weird.
Maybe it's a good thing he didn't get elected.
Maybe, but I'm sure there was like some synchronicity there, and it led you down a different path for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was a cool experience to have that.
Yeah, it's probably also why you don't really do politics. It's like anytime we tried to support.
Yeah, you just get... I mean, because it's such a game of, I'm going to do this just to get people going. Yeah. But he didn't end up winning anyway.
Mm-mm. No, and look what's going on right now. It's craziness. I can't even.
Yeah, that's why I don't like really getting into politics. I think as long as we can create our realities for ourselves, as long as we can continue to focus on our own path and just let the universe take care of everything else, then we'll be great. We'll be well off. Because we can't control what other people do, but we can take care of our own actions.
Yeah. With that, I think it's really important to like take control of our own actions. I think there was an earlier topic we were on though about really enjoying fall and Halloween.
I do love Halloween, and it's just a great time to connect with ancestors. And
I'm over here like, how did we go from stormtroopers to Ron Paul?
because we were talking about Halloween, and then I don't actually know. I don't remember. I had to like fill a space because you were thinking, or
I was looking up Apollo missions.
what?
The Apollo missions.
Oh,
I don't think I'm thinking about the Apollo missions. I don't even know the name of the missions.
there's like Apollo 9, Apollo 10, Apollo 11.
There's apparently 17 of them, but Google gave me some weird
There's some
dates
movies
that I was like, no,
based
not right.
off of the Apollo missions.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I'm just saying that it's ridiculous that our community isn't celebrating space exploration more. We were talking about Captain Picard and how it was important to be celebrating space exploration.
Because there's a void, and that's what Seth MacFarlane was trying to fill with his Orville show. Because if you watch it, it's space and explore. It's a lot like Star Trek, and there is some violence and gun shooting and action. I guess you could say action. But that's not all. It's a lot of character development. It's a lot of comedy. It's a lot of lighthearted plotting. The plot is very lighthearted and funny. Some of it is so fun. It's like Star Trek meets just a more
Orville?
Yeah,
Orville's pretty awesome.
It's down to earth. It's got our century's humor.
Mm-hmm.
So things that like pop culture.
Yeah, and it's
references.
It's also got references that many of us were just like, man, why didn't Star Trek go there? But Seth MacFarlane just goes there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a character in Orville that's like cisgender or whatever. He's like, this whole planet
his
is
whole
just like,
society is male gender.
Yeah, there's that one, and then isn't there one that's like, well, I guess that's the one I'm thinking of. They're like male and female all in one. Very interesting energies, interesting combinations and dynamics.
Dude, some of their characters are just so silly. But man, I love the idea of space exploration and just getting to a place where our whole culture and our whole world understands we're not the only intelligent, capable beings in this gigantic universe.
Yeah, I wish we could celebrate it more and all visualize like what a spaceship would look like, and like if we wanted to travel, how it could be safe and fun and exploratory and not scary. And
what if there were these pods, basically, you can make them any shape or size that were adaptable. So we would have basically a docking system wherever we would want to live, our house. And our house would be like this pod you could take, put it into a spaceship, and take off. I need some water.
Yeah, I'm visualizing like almost like Jetsons, but like more portable. Like the pods they had up in the sky that I could just take around with me. That'd be pretty sweet. I like the windows and like just feeling like I'm in tune with nature, able to see it, explore it. It'd be really cool if I could be like in the stars. That'd be sweet. Be able to just be in the stars.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're in scientific ways. They're like gaseous, huge things, but
what are
stars?
Oh. Yeah.
But if we knew how to navigate them properly, they're spaced so far apart that they could still be pretty and easily navigated, hopefully.
Yeah. I had something I was going to say and I lost it.
That's okay. I was visualizing you for a second being Captain Picard for Halloween for some reason. That's where my brain went.
I need a bald cap and to hide my braids.
Yeah, I don't think Captain Picard had braids. Speaking of dressing up for Halloween, what was something else fun you did for Halloween? We were talking about stormtroopers. You were a stormtrooper once. What else One year, my grandma made me be Raggedy Ann. Actually, multiple years. She dressed me up as a doll. I was really kind of freaked out by
it's
it.
weird because your grandma makes dolls, and she's like, "Let me turn my
You
little
into a doll.
granddaughter
Mhm.
into a fake-looking doll
with bright red yarn hair, and she made me
It's
my
almost-
dress.
a fetish."
It was weird. Don't tell me that. That's weird to think about.
What? I mean, there
Grandma
are
having
so
a
many
fetish with
more.
dolls.
There are so many non-sexual fetishes people have.
It was definitely, she loved dolls. She had a whole room full of antique porcelain dolls that she made. I call them antique because I don't know anyone that makes porcelain dolls like this anymore.
How do you
she
even
made the
make
clothes.
the porcelain?
She poured the porcelain, and they had a kiln.
What do you make the porcelain with?
It's a very special form of clay that not many people use anymore. Because you have to kiln it, and kilns are really expensive.
And she would like pour it into a mold or something?
Yeah, they had a little old lady crew, and that was her community. They made dolls together. Now I'm like, man, back in the day, they would have been considered witches making voodoo dolls, but they were just doing it in a much different modern way.
And think about how many dolls she ended up making now.
My gosh, there's like dozens, hundreds of them.
Yeah.
That's weird and crazy. But yeah, so she made me, I was a Raggedy Ann one year. One year I was a clown. I'm terrified of clowns also. So they kept making me these things that I did not enjoy. I did not enjoy dolls as a kid. Yeah. I did not enjoy clowns.
It's weird.
As a kid.
It's like, wouldn't you be like, do you want to do this? Shouldn't you ask the person you're dressing if they would want to wear it or not?
I feel like I was just like a dress up toy
almost
for them.
Yeah, people are around then, maybe they just are like, I'm just gonna make her wear this.
I think this was before I really had an opinion. I'm thinking I was like 2, 3.
Yeah.
Because then one year, because when they let Shannon decide, they get silly answers. Like, I think I told him I wanted to be a light. I told him I wanted to be a light the year before my mom passed away. So my mom loved making costumes too. And I told her I wanted to be a light. And you know what they did?
They made you a lamp.
They made me a stoplight. They got like a mini refrigerator box, and they spray painted it black, and they cut 3 holes in it, and they put lights in it, and I walked around and I had a button, and they wanted me to be in the parade because there was a Halloween parade in my community, and they judged the costume, so it was a judging contest for sure. But I told them I wanted to be a light. They let me be a light. I was a stoplight, and I got to press a button inside that changed the colors.
Did you love it?
I did. And that's so funny because I always relate that story of this little light of mine to my mom. So she made me this little light of hers. It's adorable. Halloween, man. It's a magical
Do you
time.
remember which costume ended up winning?
It was something really stupid. It was like, I don't remember. I think Scream or something was big that year, and there was like
someone just had a Scream mask.
I think it was like a family made the whole, like there was a family that decked themselves out as or a crew that was the whole crew, and they got to walk. I was like, what? That's so stupid. It was the 90s, but
I just feel like you could easily grab a Scream mask and put black around it.
It was something ridiculous. Anyway, my mom ended up knowing, like, she had a friend that she worked with, and that friend knew that it was like really important for my mom to make costumes and just like do crafty cute things. And her son or something, or daughter, I think both of them were in like football and cheerleading, and they just let me walk next to that that float. And there were a couple other kids too that were in costumes that we didn't give a fuck. We didn't pay attention to the rules. We just walked in the parade anyway.
Yeah. Why not?
I was being a light.
Why? Like, if you're a kid and you want to be in the parade and you're wearing a costume,
I had a cool costume.
What kind of person would not want that to happen?
Well, I do remember I was a stoplight. So first of all, I got to be a light. Second of all, there was a group of us kids that were just really sad that we didn't get to be in it. And I remember telling my mom that if I was going to walk in it, I was going to take those kids with me too because they were sad. So my mom wasn't really like big on talking to people. She was super quiet, but she helped me gather and rally the troops. And we all ended up walking with that group of kids because it didn't matter. Like it wasn't fair that they were choosing favorites and it was something like that either.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up being like we rallied the troops. We all walked.
So maybe your mom got out of her comfort zone.
She got out of her comfort zone. This is one of like the last memories I have with her too. So this is really cute. But also I think they put us behind a band, like one of the school bands, because I think it was like Fort Hill or something, which is a really big deal in our community. Is like if you're near one of the high schools, because there's 2 high schools and they're rivals. And it's actually really crazy when you think about it, because one's a Sentinel and one's an Indian. So it's like this settlers and the Indians battle in my community.
That's a lot of what happened around here.
It's a lot, yeah, because I'm in the middle. We're right here on the Mason-Dixon line with the Confederate flags everywhere, and it's crazy. It's a crazy little bubble they're in here. But anyway, so we were near one of the rivalry schools, and before they play, they have to stop in front of like these judges. So I got to be the stoplight that like started and stopped, and I led all of my rally of troops that were like, screw you to tell us we can't walk and tell us that our costumes aren't cool. I think they were all like handmade costumes. Like I made sure to like look at my mom. We picked out like the handmade costumes, and it was just cute and like a memory that was really important. And it was like a Halloween thing where some families are really against Halloween, and that was just an amazing childhood experience.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my neighborhood was so connected, and we basically knew all the people. I've been into most of the houses on the childhood street that I grew up on, and there's so many kids that would go out. Like the streets were lined with it. And it's like in the movies that you see, where there's just so many kids having fun, going trick-or-treating. And man, I kind of wish it was like better chocolate in a way, or it's not super junky.
Yeah. I remember towards the end of the years, people were trying to give out apples and things, and then it just got weird.
Yeah, the apples were weird because I don't know, but something. I was always getting belly aches after. If I could have something that would like be sweet and chocolatey and good, I would be happy.
I was an art kid, so there was a couple people that would give like Play-Doh and stuff, and it wasn't even about like getting things, but it was cool to like go around to all the different places that you didn't get to go and like see all the different houses, stuff like that.
Yeah, seeing the different houses. Some people would like put certain kind of creatures near that might like jump out at you and stuff. It's an interesting thing to want to spook people and for people to want to be spooked.
Well, I think as people got older too, you got to see people's true colors, and everyone gets to be really unique during Halloween when people get to dress up and you see their personality come out. I remember when I did start getting to choose my costume. One year my dad was like, I'm not getting you a costume, you have to make it. And I was like, I'm just going to be a hippie then. Like I got some pants that were tie-dye, and I started sewing all the beads and stuff to them because that's what I had portrayed a hippie as, you know, like they have like a piece shirt. I cut up a t-shirt and made like a headband out of it and braided my hair. I was like, you don't, fine, I don't need a costume. I'll just be as unique as possible and be me. And like to me, it was unique. I was like in 5th grade or something. And it was pretty cool. And I started to see like my friends would dress up as fairies. Some friends would go really dark with it. I had a boyfriend once that was like, he loved Halloween. He got all decked out. He still does. He still gets decked out in his fake blood and his mask and stuff. And I actually like, I loved it. I think it's really cool when people just like get into dressing up and being their character and breaking stigmas. And that's like a time people aren't afraid to do it.
Yeah. It's really fun to just do creative stuff and get really into something. Yeah, it makes life fun. Getting to do fun stuff like that.
For sure.
Dress up. I like dressing up. Wearing costumes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I loved about music festivals too, is as soon as I found out that we could go and just dress and explore our fashion senses and our just like our sense of character it's very theatrical experiences to just see everyone dress up and be comfortable in themselves, not feel judged. I remember
that's a big thing.
Yeah, people wearing cloaks or people wearing like foxtails. Like back in the day, people used to wear like foxtails and stuff and show it as like a connection to the animals, like Indians and stuff. But now in our community, it's kind of like frowned upon and things like that. And it's still, I mean, definitely, it's like you want to make sure things are ethically sourced, but there's like that whole community of being unique and stuff like that.
It's a huge part of our culture.
Yeah, one of our friends.
So many people dress up.
Yeah, went full blown Catman. Life's interesting. I guess that's why we have Orville and stuff that's trying to introduce that acceptance to us too. That like we're all our own like unique alien in a way, like different. Not only in different species and races and genders, but like even in just personalities, we all connect with different comforts and representation.
It's what makes life so unique and diverse and pretty amazing, actually. Getting to see things in a different perspective than others. What? We're not the Borg.
Oh, Borg. Borg is really scary. It's like you must conform to be the hive mind. And it's like, I think we're moving towards a hive mind, but not in the sense of you must assimilate and force yourself to be that. I think we could be more understanding and we'll want to be closer to each other's energies and spirits and not feel like robots. I think that's kind of where some AI is, and like there might be some of us that go down that path and that might go to a different reality. That gets into like transurfing and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if I can get into that in this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty late.
But
cool. I like it. All kinds of great things coming up. For fall, we're doing more episodes of the Bring Me to Life podcast. New website coming.
It's all happening. Hope you check out bringmetolife.com. I hope you join us in the Bring Me to Life challenge. Hope you give us some good topics to talk about. We've been covering a lot of different things now. Let us know how you feel about that. We're interested to know. Mainly, we thought this would be a good space to just share a couple of stories because people seem to love hearing our stories in person and learning more about us and what makes us tick. And we're here to show up and to share. So, yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited for harvesting and celebrating.
It's
gratitude.
harvest season, everyone. It's the time where you get to harvest all your goodies and chill and wear sweaters and drink warm drinks if you're into that.
I'm excited to make apple crisp.
Maybe read some more books. Oh, I learned recently that
books.
Apparently an average reader would need to read 45 minutes a day to read a whole book in 1 week.
How big's that book, though?
An average sized book.
Are you sure?
That's what the video said.
I'm just asking you questions because you like to ask me specific questions like that a lot.
See how chill I am with it? I'm trying to teach you how to...
You handled it well. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm going to try to read. You said 45 minutes a day?
Yeah. And an average person reads between 2 to 4 books a year.
That's awesome. What's a book that you've read this year that's changed your life?
I'm trying to think back to all the books I've read. I've definitely read more than 12 books. I think my goal was 20 something.
Got a lot of reading to do. Not that much. You do
I've
a
been
lot of reading.
A good amount.
A book that changed your life this year?
The Mary Magdalene one blew my mind.
Nice. Which one? Because I have a couple I've given you.
Mary Magdalene, the moon under her feet, or
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great Mary Magdalene introduction.
I believe
Because,
that's
you know,
what it's called.
Yeah. The moon under her feet.
Or stars under her feet or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, that one was pretty life-changing because it was a story of Mary Magdalene from basically her perspective. And one of the Mary Magdalenes, and it was profound seeing...
You got to see his mom Mary in it too. Jesus' mom Mary, Mary Magdalene.
Yeah,
it was their perspective from the female priestess church that Magdalene was actually a part of, even though she's portrayed as kind of different in many other spaces. Yeah,
it's weird how just, not well portrayed women are in some
religions. It's sad.
In some ancient, or I guess, ancient things that were translated. You can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
A book that changed my life this year was The Magic Mala.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I actually got it for my aunt for Christmas and then got myself one and you one. And I really wanted to understand malas in a different way, and I was just guided to it. The universe was like, this is the time.
This is the time.
Yeah, so I started researching it, and I loved the book because it was an adventure book, The Magic Mala, and it showed the experience of using a mala without it being attached to religion, which I thought was really cool because most people will relate a mala to like Buddhism and they reference the prayer, or a rosary, and it references Lakshmi and different things in the book, but it's very unreligious based and just about the spiritual experience of connecting with your thought and the character.
It's a quick adventure read.
Yeah, you read it really fast. I highly suggest getting it and a mala.
That's the kind of book you could definitely read in a week if you read for 45 minutes each day.
Great spiritual gift to give somebody too. I gave it to my aunt, and she also said she finished it real quick and changed her life. So, Magic Mala.
She said that?
It's really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I asked her. She actually read it.
Oh, yeah.
She likes reading books, too.
Yep. Books are great.
I think that we're going to end this one just a little bit sooner than usual because it is really late for us. We're excited to be releasing these all kind of together so you can tune in at your own time. We've been really wanting to get you guys as much content as possible. And we want to be able to lead you in the direction of following your highest excitement as well. So those are a couple of our book recommendations. We hope that you check them out, leave us a discussion in the Bring Me to Life Challenge. Check out the Bring Me to Life website.
BringMeToLife.com.
With the number 2.
Yes.
2.
The number 2 looks way cooler.
It's how it became and it stuck.
Yeah.
So, PBM2L, Bring Me to Life, Project Bring Me to Life. You are a community. We love you. We're going to sign off and go read and relax and do some self-care. So, we will see you in the next episode. I hope you stay awake and shine on always.
Have a great day.
Bye.
For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of it, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Thanks for shining on with us.